Okay, Dean Legge wrapping up Georgia's 23-17 win over Notre Dame. Made it about as hard as possible to win the game at the end. Notre Dame was really good in the first half. Notre Dame was not bad, generally speaking. I did not expect them to be this competitive with Georgia, but, look, sometimes that's how it goes. Georgia had to really fight on the ground, 152 yards, but by the second half, Notre Dame was starting to really Georgia was starting to have their way on the ground. I mean, the first half, Georgia had rushing, they had 55 yards, and they wound up with 152. So, almost 100 yards in the second half. That matters. It really felt like Notre Dame had the ball a lot in the first half, particularly in the first quarter. But Georgia actually went on with the time possession a little bit longer. And then in the fourth quarter and even in the third quarter, Georgia sort of seemed to grind it out. All right, so a couple of mistakes. I think the punting position's got to probably be open at this stage. And, you just can't have shanks. You can have not great punts, but you can't have shanks with the game on the line. I mean, a solid punt means Notre Dame has to go another 25 yards, and that makes a difference, man. So Jake Camarda's got to step it up. That was just not good enough. Lawrence Cager had a great night. 5 catches for 82 yards with a touchdown. I mean, Jake Fromm never seems spectacular, but when you're 20 of 26 for 187 yards, a touchdown, and really what was a heck of a run right here. Jake played great. This is something I know we're going to talk about this on riding home, but I kind of would have gone for that fourth down. You win the game. This is what, why I don't get paid $7 million a year, but I kind of would have gone for it there because you really would have ended the game with that yard. Now, Rodrigo, tell you what, man, Rodrigo has really played well this year so far for the Dogs. Nothing to complain about there. They needed every single one of his points tonight. How many did he kick? 4? 3? Just 3? So they scored 2 touchdowns? Okay, so not ideal. Well, here's the box score right here. So Rodrigo with a 40-yarder, a 30-yarder, a 40, 31, and 43. Those were huge, man. I mean, again, I was impressed by Notre Dame. I didn't expect it, but they couldn't run. I mean, 46 yards rushing, that's not going to get it done. And when you almost throw the ball 50 times, you're not doing what you want. You're not doing what you want. This really was a defensive struggle, frankly. But Georgia just couldn't quite put the game away. Hey, by the way, too, you just look at some of these numbers. This stuff matters right here. When you're 4 of 13 on third down, well, really 5 of 16 on third and fourth down for Notre Dame, and then 12 penalties for 85 yards. They were offsides, 4 times or 5 times? So my point being, Sanford Stadium really mattered tonight. That light show, I don't even know where to start with that thing. I mean, that is impressive. The regular light show and then the amped up red deal, looks like the Martians are coming to kill us all. That's really cool. And by the way, I know everybody in the SEC is going to be doing that soon, but that's a Georgia thing. It's been a Georgia thing for some years now. But the way that they've stepped that up, man. I'll just tell you, too, I'm straight exhausted. I've not eaten since lunch, and it's 1:30 at night. It's tough to eat on these game days when you're running around as much as we do. DeAndre had a really solid game. I thought he pulled his hamstring for a second there. He was 18 carries for 98 yards. We didn't see Zamir at all, which I mean, it's not a huge deal. I'm his biggest cheerleader, I guess. But Brian Harrion ran well at times. But there were no explosive plays in the run game, so Notre Dame got that, figured out. But the punting, that's a problem, and it's just not reliable. This is one of those games where the punts were bad, and then when you give away a touchdown, this game wouldn't have been competitive if Tyler. I got nothing bad to say about Tyler Sims. He fumbled the ball. And if that doesn't happen, this game is probably Georgia going away. But it did. And sometimes you got to fight. I mean, I joke around and say compete all the time. It's like I'm sort of making fun of things, but they really had to fight tonight. They really had to compete. And if they're trying to win the national championship, which I can't imagine the goal is something other than that here, you're going to have to fight through games like this. I don't see a lot more games on the schedule where this could be a fight. Maybe Florida, but Matt DeBerry and I think they look like garbage today. Tennessee's awful. Auburn is looming. That's going to be a dogfight, or at least it looks like it. Texas A&M is eating some losses. Maybe they've regressed. The quarterback doesn't look so hot. But, I mean, this is about Georgia, and this might be the best team they play all year. Even maybe, I mean, into the playoff. I mean, LSU looks great. Although the defense, Alabama looks good as usual. But this was a legit test. And, you know, if you have 6 teams, and Georgia being one of those 6, you know, 2 of them have, good wins, which are, well, 3 of them have good wins. LSU has the Texas win, Georgia has the Notre Dame win, Clemson has the Texas A&M win. I think probably Georgia at this stage actually does have the best win. I'm just not sure if they're the best team. I don't know who the best team is right now. We need to figure that out. It's not Michigan. The Big Ten is looking like just a Ohio State-Wisconsin deal. These are exhausting nights. Kirby really had to fight his team, I felt like, at times tonight. I don't blame him for kicking the field goal, and I don't think that should be the only big thing people talk about. I think I would have gone for it, but I mean, you had all the momentum there. I'm not so sure Jake didn't get the first down from where I was sitting. Maybe he was short. A lot of pass interferences that were definitely not called tonight on certainly against Notre Dame that didn't occur. The Irish only with 46 yards. I think if you're playing quick game, maybe that's the way to get past Georgia. But it's tough to do that, man. You got to run. And the team that ran for more yards won again tonight. I don't know. Huge recruiting night. Go to dogpost.com. Click the subscribe button. See this next video up here. Dean Legge signing off. Georgia 23-17 winner over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We will not see this probably in my lifetime. So enjoy it.